Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a very special one for me. I have been working on a portrait of someone very close to my heart, my sister. Portraiture is always a challenge, but when the subject is family, you really want to capture that specific spark in their eyes and their unique smile. For this piece, I choose watercolors. I wanted to achieve a balance between the soft, fluid nature of the paint for the background and skin, and the bold, vibrant tones for her hair and dress. You will see in the process how I layered the colors to build up the shadows around the eyes and the definition of her features. Drawing someone you know so well is a different experience. You are not just looking at a reference photo, you are thinking about their personality. I am really happy with how this turned out, and I hope it inspires you to try painting a loved one too. I began with a very diluted light skin tone wash. Notice how I left a bright white spot on the tip of the nose and the chin in watercolor. The white of the paper is your brightest highlight, so you have to save it from the start. Before the first drop of paint touched this paper, there was the sketch. In portraiture, the sketch is your map. If the map is wrong, you will get lost once the paint starts flowing. I spent a long time getting the proportions of my sister's face just right, measuring the distance between her eyes and the curve of her jaw. Especially for watercolor artists, I kept my pencil lines very light because watercolor is transparent. Heavy pencils marks can sometimes look dirty under the light skin tone. I used a hard pencil, so the lines stay crisp but subtle. While sketching, I was not just drawing a face, I was looking for her. I focused on the specific shape of her smile and the way her eyes crinkle. Once I saw her spirit appearing the pencil lines, I knew I was ready to start with the colors. I also sketched out the floral patterns on her dress and the position of her necklace. Having these boundaries early on helped me stay confident, and when I started the negative painting process later on with the dark blue paint. There is a quick tip for my viewers. If you are struggling with your sketch, don't be afraid to use a grid or light strokes. It's better to erase a pencil line 10 times than to try and fix a paint stroke once. And now once the first layer was dry, I added a mix of warmer reds and oranges to the cheeks. This gives the face a healthy, lifelike glow. It's all about layering slowly so the colors stay transparent and don't look heavy. For the hair, I used long sweeping strokes with the darker brown and black and purple. I wanted the hair to feel heavy and frame against that soft blue sky background. For the dress, I used a negative painting approach, painting the dark blue around the pink flower shapes to make the floral pattern stand out. The eyes are the most important part of this portrait. I used a fine brush with a very little water to get that deep black for the eyeliner and pupils. For the lips, I used rich crimson red, making sure to leave a tiny silver of light to make them look glossy. In watercolor, you don't use white paint for highlights, you use the paper itself. Plan your highlights like the shine on the rose or the glint in the eyes before you even touch the brush to the page. Once you paint over them, that light is gone forever. Think about the consistency of your paint. Start your first layers thin and watery, like tea. As you move to the shadows melted butter. This creates a beautiful depth that makes the portrait look 3D. One of the hardest things in watercolor is knowing when to stop. If you keep adding layers, overcoating, the colors will look muddy. If a section looks okay, leave it. The beauty of watercolor is in its transparency. Always keep a scrap piece of the same watercolor paper next to you. Watercolor looks much darker when wet than it does when it dries. Always test your skin tones on the scrap paper first to make sure the glow is just right. Always start with your lightest washes. You can always make a section darker, but in this medium, it is nearly impossible to make a dark section light again. Build this feature slowly, layer by layer. My final tip for all of you is this: don't strive for perfection, strive for feeling. When I drew this portrait, I was not just worried about the lines being straight. I wanted her warmth to show through the paint. Put your heart into your brush and the rest will follow. There is a quiet magic in that moment when you finally lay down your brush and realize the person you love is looking back at you from the paper. After hours of focusing on every tiny detail, the curve of her smile, the light in her eyes, finishing this portrait feels like I have captured a piece of her spirit. It's a mix of relief and deep joy. Stepping back from the painting board is always the best part. When I am painting, I am often worried about one specific layer or a color being too dark, but when it's finished and the watercolor has dried, all those individual strokes come together into a single beautiful image. Seeing the contrast between the dark hair and the soft blue background finally click is so rewarding. I kept looking at her photo and then back at my paper, and for a while it was just a collection of shapes and washes. But suddenly, in the final stage, it stopped being a drawing and truly became my sister. That transition where the art starts to feel alive is why I love being an artist. Every finished piece is a teacher. Looking at this completed work, I can see where I have improved in my color mixing and where I learned to be more patient with my layers. It gives me so much energy and makes me want to start the next project immediately. When I signed my name at the bottom of this page, I felt a huge sense of pride, not just because the painting is done, but because I managed to turn a blank piece of paper into a memory that will last forever. That is the true power of art. Creating this portrait has been such a journey for me. It reminds me that art is not just about colors and brushes, it's about the people we love. I hope this video inspires you to pick up your paints and capture someone special in your life. If you enjoyed watching this come to life, please leave a comment and tell me what you think. Remember, every stroke you make is a step forward in your artistic journey. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Keep practicing, keep creating, and I will catch you in the next one. Happy painting!